Hello and welcome to Wednesday webinar. Tonight I'm coming to you from, guess where? Fucasia again here. I come here every year and get to know a bit of the area. Last year when I came here, the house in the background was for sale. It's since been sold. So tonight we're going to do a bit of an excursion. So it's quite a large block going all the way down the back. And down the back used to be a tennis court. But now look what's happened. So that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. So what happens when you buy a block of land that's too big for you, or that you can see the profit in cutting part of it off, the tennis court in this case, and selling it off? You see, when you bought the place, you might have bought part of it for your home, but you've also bought it with a profit-making motive. So the actual back bit is a business. You can never argue that if you're going to sell it off straight away, you've got no chance of arguing that you didn't have a profit motive. I've seen the odd person have a change of circumstances and been successful in arguing it with an ATO ruling, but basically that problem is this is a business-making venture, and you're going to be taxed as if you were in business. So your house will be still all right. That's covered by your main residence exemption if you do all the right things. But that block of land that you sell down the back, even if you don't build on it before you sell it, even if you just cut off the land, you're doing that for a profit-making purpose. Therefore, you've got to register for GST if you sell the land for more than $75,000. And you're not going to get the 50% capital gains tax discount or the main residence exemption on it. So be prepared, be aware of all those taxes. But most importantly, use the margin scheme. Make sure the contract has the margin scheme in it, because that means you'll only have to pay GST on the margin between the portion of the purchase price that is represented by the block of land you're selling and the selling price. If you don't have a margin scheme in the contract, then you have to pay GST on the whole of the selling price. That's it. You don't get any input credit for the original purchase price because it was a residential home you were buying. There is no GST input credit that comes with that. But when you sell vacant land or a brand new home, you do have to charge GST. Now, the catch-22 is you might think, oh, well, if I don't register for GST, they'll probably never find out. Well, they will, because the Titles Office reports all sales. And anyway, well, I'll fix it up then and pay it if I get caught. But unless you're prepared to admit that GST applies to the contract, you can't put a margin scheme clause in there. And it's very hard to use a margin scheme after the contract has gone through. Very difficult. You've got to have the ATO permission and the buyer's got to agree. So you really, if you think you've got any good excuse to get out of it, you go for a ruling first from the ATO, get that in writing, because you're going to have to go into a contract without a GST clause, and that's a big risk. So you want to be sure that you've got it watertight, that GST doesn't apply to the contract. Otherwise, cut your losses, put the margin scheme in. Hope you found this useful, and thank you for staying till the end. See you next week.